do want to explore this, and people are going to jump on this. So let's just get this in context fully. Andy Robertson is a Liverpool legend, an absolute snip beyond belief at 8 million, won it all, been unbelievable back in his day. That day is not now. And the eye test tells us, Bart, it seemed pronounced. And this isn't saying Kostas Tsimikas is a top-class left-back, by the way.
No.
It just seemed to improve down that side. I am intrigued to see what the stats say about these two.
So there are these two lines here. So Robbo's top and Kostas is third down when we start scrolling across, all right? So Kostas, past success, 89, nearly 90. Robbo's was 80-ish, 81. So there's nearly a 10% difference between their past success. If we look at any production, so XT, which is threat, so Kostas produced double the amount in only a third of the time, in only a third of the time that he was on the pitch for versus Robbo.
Yeah.
So in terms of output, that was good. In terms of final third passes, Robbo had 15, Kostas at 10. But again, you've got to remember Kostas was only on for a third of the time, right? Yeah. We all carried on this. Yeah, attempted passes 19 versus 32, so that's pretty decent. Now, this is the threat, which is key. That they are the attacking output a lot of times because the wide left forward comes in a lot of times, particularly when you're playing Cody. So in his time on the pitch, Kostas produced nearly 14% of our threat versus Robbo in double the, or in 2/3 of the time, if you like, was on for 6%. So that's a massive difference in what they did on the ball in the right areas. Okay. If we then go off the ball, should we say, just to give you an idea about where Robbo was passing as well, because there was a bit of times in commentary where it looked like Robbo was just knocking it back to VVD. He was just playing safe. So Robbo's biggest pass connection was with Van Dijk, right? He plays the ball back to Van Dijk 12 times. Then into Diaz, and then 6 into Max. So that is 18 of his passes were defensively minded, right? Particularly when we're trying to attack down now, we've got in our possession. That's not a great stat you want to be looking for. So rather than passing to Van Dijk, you kind of want to be looking up, playing it into Cody or carrying it. And Robbo is typically a carrier, as we've said. So that's not great. If we look at on his defensive side, he didn't win any duels and he wasn't involved in a lot, which is more of a worry. Okay. Kostas was involved in one ground duel and won it, whereas Robbo lost it. Wasn't involved in any aerials. If we look at our carrying, so final third carries, this is Robbo, right? He is known for getting that ball, driving it into the final third. Yeah. So he was only his carries, only 54% of his carries were into the final third. So that's down. Kostas on for, as I said, half an hour versus Robbo's hour. 69% were into the final third. He had 13 carries in his time versus Robbo's 24. So that is quite a big difference in proportionally for that time. The touches, should we say? So Kostas, fairly even mix, and 55% of his touches in the final third. Robbo, mainly in that middle third, not really wanting to move things forward into the final third. So, yeah, it cost us on the ball for nearly 30, Robbo on for nearly 50. Again, only 20 more considering he was on for, half an hour longer. That's a little bit of a difference. So, yeah, I think Robbo is a legend. I don't like criticising players who've been an absolute legend for us. I've got to keep getting confused when I'm playing in red. But it's just, you look at some of the metrics around Robertson he's not anywhere near these black dots here, which says he's underperforming all of the metrics. Yeah. Whereas Kostas, for his limited time on there, is at least matching 3 out of the 7. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a problem there. And when you're asking your fullbacks to take set pieces as we do, you cannot afford for one side of that. Typically, they split them up, right? To be completely ineffective.
Yeah.
Robbo hit the front man, put it out of play, I think, on a couple of times, numerous times. First thing Kostas does is puts it right on Jota's header where 1-0 equal. And then there's 2 or 3 after that are dangerous. So, yeah, it's it's a problem for us. There are solutions in the market, as we've done through TMM, looking at left back, which are doable this window. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to happen. But yeah, as I said, the biggest concern for me with this Robbo performance was that it wasn't like he come off the back of 3-4 games in a row and you can kind of go, right, he's just a bit tired. He's literally not played. He played against United, didn't play in the FA Cup, didn't play in the League Cup, or very minimal minutes. So he's literally had a huge chunk of time off, which should have given him a bit of recuperation. I think that's probably one of his worst performances of the season, and he's been sent off. So it's a worry. It's a worry.
Yeah, and to be fair, if anyone thinks we're being unfair, we've caveated all that with what a legend he is at the club, but all the metrics there. And like you said, Bart, the biggest concern was we've seen Robbo sometimes respond to a rest Villa where he had a bit of a break and he did have a really good performance. But those are just so few and far between now. It is a concern. And yeah, you're right. We've talked about this quite a bit with left backs and TMM in the market. So we will see what happens with this one, people. And it is a frustrating draw, but there is not too much more we can do about it. Hopefully, that was a little bit cathartic for you. And